the house that whispers back. You never notice the sound at first. It hides inside the hum of your refrigerator, the shuffle of leaves against your window, the tick of the wall clock. But once you hear it, once it hears you, there's no going back. I moved into the house on Wren's Hollow Lane in late October, under a sky the color of rust. It wasn't much to look at. 2 floors, faded siding, a crooked porch, and the faint smell of rain-soaked wood. The realtor called it a property with history, her tone a careful blend of enthusiasm and warning. The previous owner, a reclusive antiques dealer, had died in sleep. No one claimed the house for nearly a decade. I told myself I was buying it for the peace and quiet. I needed time alone. And I believed that until the first night. It began as a whisper. Not from the street outside, not from the wind through the warped boards of the attic, no, it came from the walls. At first, I dismissed it as plumbing or the sigh of settling beams. But the more I listened, the clearer it became. The whisper wasn't random. It had rhythm, pauses, cadence, like language half remembered from a dream. By the third night, I started to make out syllables, a wet rasp between them as if the speaker's mouth was too dry or too full. I couldn't understand the words, but they were always directed inward, toward me, as though the house itself leaned closer to speak. The attic was locked, sealed with a chain so old it crumbled under my touch. Dust rolled off in waves when I pushed open the hatch. Inside, a single piece of furniture, a writing desk carved from some wood I didn't recognize, its surface cracked but still faintly polished. On the desk sat a ledger, bound in leather, its pages covered in cramped, spidery script. Not English, not any language I'd seen, yet somehow, staring at it, I felt the words approach me. Not that I understood them, but that they understood me. From that night on, the whispering grew bolder, louder. It no longer waited for the quiet, it created it. Radios would cut to static, the hum of the refrigerator would die, even the wind outside seemed to pause. And in that vacuum, the house would speak. I stopped inviting people over after Marla visited. She stayed in the living room for all of 10 minutes before her face turned pale. "Your walls," she said quietly. "They're moving." I laughed it off, but when she left, I pressed my palm to the wallpaper and felt it, a slow, deliberate pulse, like a heartbeat far too big to belong to any living creature. One night, the whispers called me upstairs. Not literally, there were no clear instructions, but the rhythm changed, like footsteps receding, coaxing me to follow. The desk in the attic was open this time. A fresh page in the ledger was waiting, the ink still wet. This time, I could read it. Not in the way you read a book, but as if the shapes on the page were bypassing my eyes and sliding directly into my mind. The message was simple: let us in. I stopped sleeping in my bed. I dozed off on the couch, but no matter where I tried, I'd always wake in the attic chair, the ledger open before me, a pen in my hand. Sometimes I'd be halfway through writing things I didn't recognize, lines of symbols, diagrams that hurt to look at, and the more I wrote, the more the house changed. Corners seemed sharper, shadows thicker, ceilings higher than I remembered. When I passed the mirror, the reflection would lag, like it was thinking about whether to follow me. On the 7th night, the whispering stopped. The silence was worse. It was listening, waiting. Then came the knock. Not from the door, but from inside the walls. 3 times, slow and heavy, shaking the floorboards under my feet. When I turned toward the sound, the hallway was longer than it should have been. I don't mean it looked longer, I mean it was. The far wall was too far away, the air colder, denser, as if space itself was stretching. And from the end of that hall, something leaned out. It was not a face. Faces are symmetrical, anchored. This was a suggestion of a face, shifting, spilling over itself like liquid shadow, with eyes that were not eyes, but holes into somewhere deeper than dark. And it spoke, not in the whisper anymore, but in the voice that came from behind my own teeth. "You wrote for us, now we will write through you. If you're hearing a sound behind my voice right now, static, a hum, a distant sigh, turn this off. Do not listen again." Because if you can hear it, it can hear you too. And once it knows your name, the walls in your own home will start to speak. If you're still here, you've already opened the door a little. Don't stop now. Subscribe, listen to the next story. The deeper you go, the less chance it has to follow you alone.